afternoon, everybody. Our results are not so projectual like the other presentation. The workshop was based mostly on some directly experience and some lectures that we had, and on a discussion that we did all together, and we want to present all these kind of activities that we did together on Wednesday. So basically our issue was this one, feeding the city locally, and so the first step to understand this issue was the visit to the Porta Palazzo market. That it's an interesting example of a big urban-based market. Is one of the biggest in Europe. And what is important on this context is that there is a part of this market that is designated to farmers market. And so it's very dedicated to the short supply chain and the relation between the urban tissue and its agricultural surrounding. And it was also there are some projects led by the province that are that want to revitalize this part of the market. Then we went to the Castello of the Valentino, and then we had two interesting lectures given by the gas representatives. And gas are these solidarity purchasing groups. And he explained us how the Italian version, let's say, of this solidarity purchasing group work, and what was very interesting in the discussion after these lectures was to understand that the Italian reality is much more free, somehow less controlled than, for example, the French correspondent. And then we also discovered this experience in Turin, in the southern part of the city. This is a farmers market space also, and reality. And they are trying to find a new way, an innovative way to do this kind of farmers market, to involve farmers and citizens in a suburbs part of the city. And what is interesting is that basically they have a structure that is not controlling, but is giving some rules to this reality. But then the farmers, the sellers, the retailers are very free to work and to occupy the space and to sell their products. And then I don't know who wants to go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, and then after this we put all together, talking about these more specific issues.
Okay. Well, and our discussion was about one main topic: how is it possible to feed the city locally? And we all spoke around, building on our experiences, on our first works, and on our what we could read during our studies. And we basically had three parts during the debate, and the first was focusing on how is it possible to feed the city locally. The interesting thing is that we were coming from very different countries with very different realities, and we could have a debate with opposite points of view. And one of us who is German said us that for the city of Frankfurt was where she were working, it is not possible to feed a city locally, and she assessed the share of local food supply to maximum 10 or 15%. Then some French participants highlighted the fact that there is some studies about how fictionally we could feed locally the city of Rennes, and this study said that it was possible to feed a city 100% locally, but that it implied a lot of changes in consumption patterns. That was some European points of view. Then the participants from North America gave us their opinion and highlighted the fact that in their parts of the world, the climate sometimes impedes that a city could be fed locally during all the year long, and that time and climate had to be taken into account. And we could understand that even in Europe, sometimes the regions around cities are so specialized that you cannot feed the city in it only with local supplies. Then we move on to the second part of our debate, which were more questioning the meaning of the question of the main topic.
Yeah, with this kind of provocative question that came into the debate at some point, actually, why should we feed the city locally? Why do we want that? Why do we support local food? And we had some interesting examples as well coming from different participants. Developing the German example, we realized that local provisioning was not necessarily an issue, and that there was more debate about organic food and the quality of food in general, rather than the regional provision of food. So this kind of shifted the debate for us. Then the debate also went into discussing food sovereignty. Like, is it desirable goal? What exactly do we mean by that? So we first observed that not all the cities and not all the inhabitants of the cities are fit for this ideal, and it's not applicable for every city, because of course it depends as well on the quality and the extent of the hinterland. So self-sufficiency, as we said in the previous slide, could not be applied everywhere. So we need to think about food shed in a bit wider sense than just a regional or local, like small scale provisioning. And then we went on and debated a bit about the potential harmful consequences of self-sufficiency. What about the political consequences? Couldn't it be dangerous? Couldn't it lead to some like separatist movement or democratic issues? Which led us as well to the question of democracy in general in food. Who decides what is good, what is fresh, what is healthy to eat? And there was a bit of class issue in that case. So this is for that.
Well, and at the end of the debate, some of us said, well, all this is really interesting, but during a PhD workshop, we could propose some operationalized solutions. And unfortunately, we hadn't the time to do such a work like the first group, but we were at the end of the debate more thinking about which are the lack and already existing good points for the local provisioning of cities. And actually our PhD workshop was more about discovering Turin's local provisioning and exchanging ideas and references than about practical outcomes like the first group. That is for our sum up.
Thank you.